Okay. Beta. I'm gonna show y'all boys where I'm from, man. I'm from.
What it do, still with the camp. Sound like a lamb, big boss. K-Po, talk boxing. Fuck my soliloquy. Them tough times don't last. The people do it on themselves. Caught them in the fight like me, better. Peak game. Peak game, 84's horse one. This is why Gervonta Davis should have rematched Lemont Roach, in my opinion. People feel like you lost to Lemont Roach. A lot of people feel like Lemont Roach beat you. I don't feel like Lemont Roach beat you. I'm cool with the draw, right? But the rematch would have generated a lot of revenue. Why? Because of how good Lemont Roach did in the first fight. A lot of people feel like he can beat you in the second fight. So going into the second fight, that would have made people be like, let me bet on Lemont Roach, right? And more people would have tuned in. Lemont Roach has got a little buzz because of the fact he performed well against you. Just like Isaac Cruz did, right? Isaac Cruz performed well against you. He created a little buzz, and, you know, he was able to make a little name for himself, right? Due to the fact he performed well against you, right? So Isaac Cruz got a decent little following now, right? So you should have rematched Lemont Roach, right? For starters, like I said, revenue. The fight would have generated a lot of revenue in a rematch. More people would have came out to see you fight Lemont Roach. Another thing, right? Just loyalty to the sport of boxing, right? One thing you got to understand in the sport of boxing, just as a man, period, you got to have morals and principles. And that's something that does not exist anymore. Dudes don't have morals and principles. They've abandoned morals and principles. It's like they quit to sell their soul for $1. You know, like me, whatever I stand on, whatever I talk about, I stand on it. I'm not deviating from it. I ain't switching from it. I ain't backing off. I'm not saying, oh man, I shouldn't have said that. No, right? I'm a fan of this sport because I love the sport of boxing. I know what it did for me. You know what I'm saying? So, like, at the end of the day, like, we got to understand that when you talk boxing and you talk about this beautiful sport of boxing, right, and you are at the peak, the pinnacle of boxing, you have to uphold it. Tank was one of the fighters that we looked at as, okay, he going to uphold, right, the sport of boxing with integrity, right? His situation with Turki Al-Sheikh, right? Turki Al-Sheikh tried to buy Gervonta Davis. He was like, man, buy me 2 Ferraris, this, that, and the third, right? Basically, little boy in Turki Al-Sheikh, right? That's basically what he was doing. And the reason why he was doing that is just let him know, I'm not here to be bought. I'm Gervonta Davis. I support the sport. I love the sport, right? But it looks contradictory and conflicting when you sit here and Jake Paul come to you with some money and you go ahead and sell your soul and go fight him. That's just real talk. You know what I mean? I can't co-sign that, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just being real with you. A lot of y'all don't love the sport. Y'all love fighters. So you're attached to these fighters, right? And then the fighter do some crash them and stuff like this, you still supporting it. Oh, I understand it's business at the end of the day. He should have been doing business with Lemont Roach. That's just real talk. You rematched Lemont Roach. I'm not saying this because I'm a fan of Lemont Roach. I'm saying this because I'm a fan of the sport of boxing. You have to uphold the sport of boxing. You have to lead by example in the sport of boxing. You can't sit here and do these things and then but tell the young dude, hey, you got to fight this dude. No. You got to lead by example, right? So you got to sit there and be like, you know what, man? This is how, when you get to the top, this is how you carry yourself, right? This is how you move as a guy at the top. Pause, right? Okay? Yeah, Jake Paul came to me, talk about, you know, he want to fight. I was like, nah, I turned it down, right? That's real talk. You know, you have to uphold boxing. You know, it's the same as in a marriage, right? I'm cooking right now. When you get married, you're going to get approached by some of the most beautiful women in the world, okay? Some of the most beautiful women in the world. Sometimes I get approached by some of the most beautiful, gorgeous women in the world, right? And they'll come up and they'll say some crazy stuff. You know what I mean? Someone be like, "You married?" I'll be like, "Yeah." "Are you happily married?" I'm like, "What does that mean? I'm married." You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, you know, I could be like, shit. I mean, yeah, but you know, what's happening with you? You good? You know, what's up with you, little mama? Yo, that was crazy. All I'm saying at the end of the day is, I stand on my 10. You can't talk about you solid and then you messing around on your woman. That ain't solid to me. You know what I mean? You gotta be solid all around the board. You can't pick and choose when you want to be solid. You want to be solid when you're around dudes. Man, what kind of gay stuff is that? You know what I'm saying? You got to keep that mug 1,000 and be solid all across the board, right? So if me and my wife, I'm locked in with me and my wife. I'm not locked in halfway. I'm locked in all the way with me and my wife. And that's how it has to be. You know what I'm saying? You can't sit here and pick and choose when you want to be locked in. It's the same thing like in the sport of boxing, right? You can't be locked in, you know, with certain fights, and then Jake Paul comes to you because he got a lot of money. Oh, yeah, man. Hey, you know what, man? I'll fight you, Jake. You know? No. You know what I mean? And I call Jake the Snake. That's what I call him. Jake the Snake. That's what I call him. He talking about Jake El Gallo. No, you're Jake the Snake. That's your name, right? Jake the Snake Paul. You know what I mean? You can't trust no white dude with no blue eyes, bro. That's just what it is. I don't care how black he act. I don't care how green his eyes is. You can't trust no white man with blonde hair and blue eyes. It's not happening, Captain. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. You know, just like you can't trust a light-skinned woman with green eyes. You know what I mean? I'm not a fan of light-skinned women. I'm sorry. I like my women dark because they solid. They gonna stick to you. You know what I mean? You know, they ain't finna be, you know, switching up and, oh, I'm bored. There ain't gonna be none of that. You know what I'm saying? Get you a dark-skinned queen. I love beautiful dark-skinned queens with natural attributes. You know what I'm saying? That's what get me, man. A dark-skinned queen come up to me with long hair and white teeth. Oh, I gotta pray. Lord, please, get this woman away from me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to, you know. This woman, she coming up, you know, smiling, cheesing too hard. Hey, Lord, please get this woman away from me. Give me the desire only for my wife, Lord, in Jesus' name. You know what I mean? That's what it is. So all I'm saying is that to keep it 1,000, Gervonta Davis should have rematched Lemont Roach, right? It would have been lucrative because a lot of people feel like you lost. So it would have been a very lucrative fight, right? We're just going to keep it 1,000. Would have been very lucrative. So he would have made a lot of money, a lot of coin on that fight. You know what I'm saying? Now, would you make Jake Paul money? No. We just going to be real, okay? We going to be real. I'm not going to sit here and cap. You wouldn't have made Jake Paul money for that fight. But you would have made very good amount of money for that particular matchup. You know what I'm saying? So when we analyze everything, he should have rematched Lemont Roach. The money would have been there. You would have been leading by example because you're the face of boxing. So you would have been leading by example, and you would have been able to show these young bulls this is how you carry yourself. Now, what they're going to do is the first opportunity of money when they get offered a fight, they're going to take it, right? Another thing that I have a problem with is the weight. What weight class are you in, or what weight you and Jake going? Like, you're 135 pounds. This man is like almost 200 pounds, or if he is 200 pounds. So what weight are y'all gonna fight at? You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand. So I can't contribute to foolishness. I just can't. You know what I mean? He should have rematched Lemont Roach. That would have been better for the sport of boxing. You have to do what's right for boxing at the end of the day, right? That's just what it is. This sport is bigger than just you. You can't be selfish, right? This is a move you do at the end of your career after you done paid your dues in the sport of boxing. After you done sat here and, beat this person. That's what you do. You don't sit here and, you still got stuff to prove and you go fight Jake Paul. It doesn't make sense, bro. You know what I'm saying? So you finna go fight Jake Paul thinking, oh, I'm going to come back and get Lemont Roach. You're not going to get Lemont Roach. Let's say Lemont Roach loses, right? Let's say he take a loss. Let's say he fights Shakur and lose dramatically. Get the brakes beat off of him. You still going to want to fight him then? You see what I'm saying? Like, you already had a lot of people sitting there saying you wasn't going to rematch Lemont Roach. They were calling you out your name, everything. I had so many people in my comment section calling you a beezy and you scary and this, that, and the third. You got Paulie Malignaggi saying, hey, man, Gervonta Tank Davis is scary. He's used to being a bully, right? But when you bully him, he don't know how to respond to that. Right? Hello? That's what they're saying. They're saying basically, hey, you, as a fighter, when you get in there with guys that got skill or can manage the bully or bully the bully, right? You basically don't know what to do. I disagree with that. Excuse me. But at the end of the day, that's the way it's looking. You got to get in there and show the world who you are. With Gervonta Tank Davis, the face of boxing. You got to get in there and show them that you're the face of boxing. So, we shall see how this thing goes. I see a lot of bad comments as it pertains to Tank. I do, from a lot of people, But this gonna blow up in his face. Pause. I'm telling y'all. Y'all for y'all that's supporting it. And let me just say this. I'm not condemning nobody who supports this fight. Okay? I'm not condemning you. I'm not sitting here saying, oh man, you are idiot because you support this fight. That's not what I'm saying. Right? You entitled to feel however you want to feel. Me, I support boxing first. So at the end of the day, I don't support this. I'm not finna, and it's been a lot of clown stuff going on in the sport of boxing as of late. So boss got to continue to cook, right? I got to lead from the front. I got to be the one that sit here and basically call this foolishness out because it's ridiculous, right? That's just what it is. We don't want this fight, bro. You know what I mean? Nobody cares about this fight. Now, financially, will this fight sell? Most likely, yes. Because it's reaching a different demographic of fan, right? So this fight will probably do better than Canelo Crawford. I'm just being real. Whoever want to bet me on it, I'm betting 200 push-ups on it. All I'm saying at the end of the day, this fight will do better than Canelo versus Crawford, right? It will. Because it's reaching a different demographic of fan, right? It's bringing in the Disney Channel, Nickelodeon type of fan. So those particular fans are going to basically come watch this fight, right? So it is what it is. It's, Canelo Crawford is just like pure, it's pure boxing heads, but, a lot of people don't want to see that fight either. So it's just been a lot of pointless fights being made, a lot of pointless conversations being made, a lot of people calling people out, but nobody fighting. It's just a whole bunch of that going on in the sport of boxing. And y'all giving dudes cool points for calling dudes out, but dudes not fighting them. Like, they not trying to go out their way to reach out to certain teams to get fights made. Like, it's just a lot of that going on, man. You know what I'm saying? So, hopefully, boxing can get better, right? Because I'm sick and tired of this stuff going on in the sport of boxing. we need to do better. We need to demand better in the sport of boxing, and that's just the truth. Hopefully we can get that. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Boss, go.